Hi, welcome to Manas Shield YouTube channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start the video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link it in the description box, or you can click here. Tensura Volume 19. Chapter 3. The Royal Capital in Flames. Rimuru meet Michael. I took Diablo and Saoi to the Holy Void Damagania. We met up with Zonda via spatial transportation and rushed to Ultima's side. The scene we saw on the way was horrific. The giants were gathering in a chaotic manner, and before I knew it, they were forming into a disciplined army. At the head of the group was Dagrul, but he seemed to be a different person from the one I knew. Our eyes met for a moment, and he grinned at me. To be honest, it felt dangerous. I wondered what I should do, but there was only one answer. Now was not the time to be dealing with Dagrul. I contacted the relevant parties via telepathy net, and left the scene as quickly as I could. And so now, I had just met up with Ultima and the others. I brought Diablo and Saoi with me. Add to that Ultima, Baron, and Zonda, and we now had a force of 6. The opponents were Leon, Dino, Pico, and Gracia. If we could bring Leon back to his senses as planned, our victory would be secured. What, Rimuru's here too? That's right, Dino-kun. However, I'll deal with you later. I replied, focusing my attention on Leon. Leon seemed to be aware of my intentions. The fact that he wasn't showing any signs of opposition was proof that Michael's control was not at the brainwashing level. Although, I didn't think it was possible for anyone to force a person with a will strong enough to acquire an ultimate skill swear their allegiance wholeheartedly just by their own power. Even if there was such a thing, it would be fake, and the current situation suggested to me that it would only restrict the actions against Michael's will. So, I decided to do something about the situation. As I had declared, I would start with Leon, leaving Dino for later. Leon, prepare yourself. Now devour all imaginary space Beelzebub. And so, a huge move was launched right from the start. With the imaginary space, Beelzebub, under the control of the ultimate skill void god, Azathoth, Leon, was guided to the invisible world. And then, immediately, Seal Sensei performed a force skill alteration on him. That was how Leon. So even if it were part of the plan, I never want to do that again. Well, he was successfully recovered. Thus, Leon had returned as one of us. The next target was the languid Dino. His resistance would probably be small, since he showed no motivation to begin with. I had put it off, thinking it would be easy to bring him back to his senses, but let's just finish it all at once. That's what I thought, but it seems that it was a naive idea. I felt a strong presence. It was an oppressing feeling, as if a true dragon was getting serious. At the same time, there was a report from Saoi, who had been in constant communication with the control room. Rimuru-sama, here, the area around the Holy Void Damagania has been isolated by an impenetrable barrier. It was confirmed. The enemy boss had arrived. Kufufufu, we've been taken for granted for you to be coming alone. Laughing, Diablo looked at the figure standing calmly. It was Michael, the man who had taken over Rudra, with a face very similar to Masayuki's. Leon has been returned to us. I don't care about that. Leon's skill, the Purity King, Metatron, is already in my hands, and he himself was merely the bait. As I thought, it's a double check. It seems that he was thinking of the same move as us, to the point of being brilliant. A double check. Then, in this case, Leon is the bait, and the likely target is... It's Masayuki. That's correct. I've been beaten. He dangled Leon in front of me as the bait, and let me wait against Masayuki as the king. And then, I was caught brilliantly. In other words, Michael's plan had already been accomplished once he lured me to this place. I understood that Masayuki was important to the enemy, but I hadn't expected him to be so obsessed. Still, if I couldn't be contained here, Michael's plan would have failed. Isn't it too early to feel like you've won? Is it? I don't think you guys will have a chance, as soon as I get there. How confident. Even though Dino and the others were still with the enemy, I could free them from his control. I was surprised he was so confident while knowing that. Or perhaps, did he have some other plan to win? Your expression is saying that you think I'm up to something. Rest assured, you are nothing to me. I went along with Feldway because he was a warrior, but I should have done this from the start. The moment I finished listening to Michael's words, Diablo suddenly collapsed. I had been on guard with magic perception as a matter of course, so I was certain that it wasn't a surprise attack or something like that. To begin with, I had never seen Diablo fall before. I didn't think he was dead, but the fact that he wasn't moving at all worried me. Hey. The moment Sally was about to run over to him, Sally himself collapsed on the spot. Wah. I don't understand. Faced with a completely abnormal situation, Leon readied his sword and collapsed. Are you kidding me? I have no idea what's going on. I wasn't the only one who was surprised, Dino and the others were as well. That meant that the only one who knew what was going on here was Michael, the one who was supposed to be attacking us. What the hell is going on? No way. No way, huh? In other words, even Seal-san didn't understand. That's not good. I didn't know what was going on, and it seemed impossible to escape. However, the possibility of abandoning Diablo and Sally and running away was not an option from the beginning. Leon as well. Ultima, take those lying over there, and get away from here. But it's okay. I've got an idea. I didn't have one. Kukufifufu. Please wait, Rimuru-sama. I can still fight. Oh, so Diablo is okay after all. I had the feeling he wasn't dead, but I guess I should have taken care of him. Seeing Diablo on his feet did not dampen Michael's spirits. He appeared to be absolutely confident that he could beat him as many times as he wanted. I thought to myself, this is a serious problem. Okay, Diablo. Retreat. Take Leon with you and get going. But that's an order. There's no way to win, so the best thing to do is escape. As I said that, I drew my sword and readied it. I knew that Michael wouldn't let me go, since he was after me. So, the best thing to do was to use myself as bait and let the others escape. Diablo, of course, understood this. Even so, he seemed quite conflicted, but the word order appeared to have worked. He teamed up with Ultima and retrieved Sally and Leon. Then they retreated. I thought you were going to interfere. I have no interest in small fry. Wow, it's a good thing Diablo wasn't listening. That's a line that would put him straight on the must-kill list, right? He's vindictive, so he would definitely achieve it one day. That's what made him such a dangerous guy. Even so, on my own, it was 1 against 4. Michael alone would have been hopeless, but now I was good as dead. Well, worst case scenario, Baldora was still here, so I think I could be revived, but the thought of actually testing it still felt bad. Would the resurrected me really be the same as the current me? That was the question that came to mind. That's why I didn't like the idea of Valdora dying either. As I was thinking about this, Michael made a move. Dino, leave this place to me, you guys should return as well. Oh, thankfully, he seems to want a one-on-one duel. Well, he might have found out that I was planning to free Dino and the others when I had the chance, but I knew the odds of that succeeding were slim, so it was definitely not a bad deal for me. Hey, is that okay? It doesn't matter. If I had complete control over his mind, I wouldn't be able to move as flexibly, and in his current state, he'll cut corners, won't he? I can't use a pawn like that. Oh, I see. He knew that Dino and Leon weren't really following him. So then, does that mean that Michael has completely beaten us to the punch this time? No, it's okay. Even Seal-san makes mistakes too. No. This is also part of the plan. Once again, you should be generous about your defeats. Seal-san's hating to lose was also a problem. Well, I guess I'll stop talking so casually and do my best to not make things worse. Now that I knew I was going to lose, I felt much better. I didn't want to be seen in a bad light, but now that Diablo and the others were gone, it was fine. The only thing left to do was to give it my best. I prepared myself and began observing Michael. I could sense that his presence was much stronger than when I had met him before. Is it several times greater than mine? We are in the labyrinth, so it can't be measured exactly, but I'm pretty sure the value is over 100 million. We can't win like that. Even if the difference was more than double, it would be unreasonable, but a difference of more than 10 times was just too much. No, it's okay. It is the power output that matters, so the outcome cannot be decided by the amount of energy alone. So, it's all about fighting spirit. Is it willpower? Seal-san was bad at giving up, but it had a point. If you give up before the fight ends, your chances of winning become 0, but if you at least try, you might be able to unexpectedly get by. The problem, however, was Michael's mysterious attack that had even defeated Diablo. I had no idea what he did, but somehow, I felt a vague sense of déjà vu. That's right, that was. Yes, it was a familiar phenomenon. That sensation. I am almost ready to understand it. Oh, Seal-san is very dependable after all. So, then it was expected that Michael would launch that attack. No. Regarding that matter, it was a complete miscalculation. I see. Well, it can't be helped. It's impossible to perfectly predict an enemy's moves, and we can also use this opportunity to uncover the mystery that would lead to the next victory. In that sense, this defeat is also, well, I haven't lost yet. I'm worried whether I'll actually be able to be revived, so let's give it our best shot. While I was thinking about this, Dino and his friends had left. Only Michael and I remained here. Here, in the Hall of Heaven's Tower, the battle between Michael and I was about to begin. After seeing Rimuru off, Hinata tried to grasp the current situation. The Capitol building where the World Conference was being held also had conference rooms and guest rooms on other floors. She rented one of these rooms as a temporary command center and began to compile reports from her subordinates. Once she grasped the situation, she let out a sigh as her head began to hurt. What the hell is going on? She couldn't help muttering to herself. The Capitol was fully guarded to protect the safety of the dignitaries from various countries. Not only the Holy Knight Order, but also knights and temporarily recruited adventurers from various countries were on guard duty. If the capital were to fall, the chain of command would be disrupted, and so the refugees would be received elsewhere. The main hall of the Holy Church in the Kingdom of Ingratia was also open to receive refugees, and there were plenty of refugee centers throughout the capital. This was because the city had always been prepared for the Tenma Great War, which was said to occur every 500 years or so. This was the case in not only the Kingdom of Ingratia, but in the Western nations as well. People were provided with shelters in underground bunkers and caves in the nearby mountainsides. This was also the reason why they could sufficiently cope with the thorough evacuation, which was also on the agenda this time. Regarding the current terrorist acts in the capital, they made sure to mitigate the human damage by evacuating the residents to such facilities. The purpose of this was to prevent major confusion from occurring, and to prepare an environment in which they could concentrate on dealing with the enemy. As of now, the results of the daily training had been demonstrated, and the people were successfully led away. The evacuation was complete, and the people who escaped were now calm. However, this was not a solution to the problem. This time, it was not a natural disaster, but rather the people who caused the disturbance. According to reports, explosions were happening all over the capital, and they were turning into fires. The cause of the fires was said to be magians of special air rank and above. The Holy Knight Order had been mobilized for this event, as it was a gathering of dignitaries from various countries. Fortunately, the Holy Knights who were on guard duty were able to handle the situation, but the situation was not good. Hinata was disgusted, but due to her position, she was not allowed to show even a hint of her true emotions on her face. It would only increase the anxiety of her subordinates and create unnecessary work for her. Moreover, Hinata deeply understood that she should not become emotional in front of the evacuees. It would be a problem to further upset people who were already worried. So Hinata did not waver. All Hinata could do now was reduce the anxiety of the evacuees and prevent further chaos, even if only a little. Fortunately, the facilities were comfortable, and there was a stockpile of food. At any rate, the right thing to do for now was to deal with the enemy without worrying the evacuees. I'll leave this to you. Have at least one Holy Knight stay at each shelter. Have the Templar Knights help as well. Yes. The enemy wasn't just on the outside. The evacuees could also turn into a mob at any moment. Things were still calm now, but there was no telling what would happen if it took too long to eliminate the enemy. Those confused by fear, and those who screamed and rioted from anxiety, it was expected that the number of such people would increase as time went on. It all depended on the future situation, but in the worst case, it might be necessary to devote troops to suppress the riots. With that in mind, Hinata swallowed a melancholy sigh. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it.